guys, what is going on? This is Daaro DS, and welcome back to more Higurashi When They Cry, a steamed visual novel that takes place in this little village of Hinamizawa. Last time we finished up the Watanagashi, the cotton drifting festival, and just as we were thinking things were going alright, we continued to meet up with Tometake and this mysterious woman that he was with named Mio Takano. As with them, he learned much more and much more creepier things about the murders he had read about in the newspaper. And it turns out that mysterious disappearances had been associated with these murders that so happen after every single Watanagashi for the past 3 years. That's a lot to take in for a young boy like Keiichi. So what are we going to do? What's going to happen? Well, I guess we're going to figure it out. We're at the end of chapter 6. So let us continue. Continue where we left off. We're back at the schoolyard. Good morning. Nice job yesterday, Kei-chan. You didn't do so badly, yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. No, that's right. Keiichi-kun, thank you very much. For Mr. Bear. I'm glad you liked it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. A pincushion? What the heck? I wouldn't. So, chatting happily as we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. It was a bucket filled with a brim with water. And unfortunately, my foot stepped right into it. Of course. My! How'd you diligently you mop the floor this morning? Clump, 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 flip, poof. Wow! Keiichi can flick my forehead. You should be said a little more brutal trap next time. Seeing that Rena began as soon as Mion looked dejectedly. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keikun? You didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during the class. You shouldn't do that. Mion alerted us the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled to their seats. Their desks. Good morning, everyone. We have a new character. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you all for the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped clean. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of year you might see some people here just from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed something different in the tone of her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions, so please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. Do you understand? In unison, everyone replied, "Yes, ma'am." What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There was probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in and hoping something regarding the curse had happened. I did nothing but to perpetuate the village's bad image. But she was saying, don't spout stupid shit if you think it's funny. And now I was the ones who needed to keep their mouths shut. I found it rather cute that I had felt a sense of unity from such a tirade thing. If I do say so myself. Yeah, don't do anything stupid, Keiichi Maebara. I was summoned to the club activities after school. Since everybody still was pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Today, let's play our classic game of deduction. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose, you hear? I'm not too bad at this game. It seems Rena didn't handle this kind of game very well. The rules are, the person who can match the murder weapon and the scene of the crime wins. Is this a clue? There are 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. I could see the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspects' cards. Oh, a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. The locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. So basically, you take out the one of each cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see. So the cards are cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. Then you raise your hand to see if you know the answer. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, you get 1 point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. You learn as you go. You really have to lose your brain. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. The rest you can figure out by playing. So, Mion, what is the penalty this time? Everyone direct their attention to Mion. Let's see. We're still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy to go for a penalty. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go buy stuff like candy and drinks, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you have to buy. You don't know what you have to buy. I'm betting Mion will have to send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or other crazy stuff. The cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator was the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder had been taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hands are innocent cards. Then I'll go first, since I'm the club president, I guess. Well then, Mion, knife, study! You pick one suspect weapon and murder scene, and ask each person if you have any of these cards. You say, I have one. However, you don't need any. You don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. All of them are here. 3 people answered, as she said, if they had Mion, knife, and study. So that means Mion, knife, and study are all clear. Gotta jolt that down. Then I'll go. Rena, axe, lounge. Only 2 people said they had one. So it means out of Rena and Axe Lounge, one of them is correct and a part of the crime? No, wait, even if they said they have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Satoko or Rika-chan has 2 cards. Okay-chan is next. Go ahead. Wait just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. It feels like it's going to be tough. All right now. I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am, spinning around in circles, and Mion just now raises her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan, and the infirmary with the poison. Well, Mion drew cuts on the box, and we checked to see her deduction was right. You were right. Ah! All I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or pistol. I never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison. Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Everyone was making commotion about how they almost had it. Rika and I were left out in the cold, though. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry. I had no idea either. How can you be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. I'm going to buy something together as a couple. What if we ended up having to buy the Happy Family Pen and Guide? I can tell from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. What? That's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Maebara during the next round. My, that just sounds wonderful. I shall give you quite a thrashing. After that, I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but I was always a step or two behind. I saw that Mion somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking me questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. I tossed out the simple concept of deduction and switched over to a thought process I needed to win. The important thing isn't to find that criminal, but is to win the game. Eureka! So sorry. I need to go to the bathroom. Take your time to squeeze out a nice one. Chum, that's gross! I had to hold off the game and headed down the hall. The air was crisp. It showed how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing on ground. After spending some time cooling my head, Rena made her way towards me. Keiichi-kun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. I got up from my seat and winked over at Rena. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste such time, so I'll get right to the point. Rena, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback after a moment. She hesitantly opened her mouth. Well, all losses. Why do you ask, I wonder? I could tell from how apprehensively she was playing. The way things are going, well, I will as well. I can't figure out right away to pull off a last-second comeback on this one. So I guess we'll both be taking the penalty. Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us. But how can we? I brought my lips up to Rena's ear. Whisper. Huh? Is that allowed? Did you forget, Rena, the second rule of our society? Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah, I'll try my best. Our plan of attack was quite a rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone will be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats are right next to each other, we reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under the desk, then nobody would know. We begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean that we'd need to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we'd start off a big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this we can probably win. We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Rena would be the corrupt senator. Pleasure doing business with you. But let's hurry back. We better work as a duo and surprise everyone. Hey now! There's no point if we go back together. We would be flat out telling them that we made a little arrangement. Oh, then sorry, what should we do? Go back ahead of me, Rena. I'll take my time after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Rena turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a little longer to run back. If I went too soon, it would seem like the bathroom. It would seem to the bathroom like I went to the bathroom. If Mion or one of them suspected something, then it would be problems. Oh boy, what'd I do? I hit the full screen button, but it didn't seem to change. Okay. Well, I guess I figured out sooner or later, but both Rena and I would start winning over and over again. Both Rena and I would have earned enough points to avoid being a loser by the time Mion realized what was happening. Excellent. Not bad at all. Maebara-kun, may I have a moment? It's the teacher. Man, things are just getting good. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. They have been waiting. Please hurry. I was rather uncomfortable that I had someone waiting on me right before my big match. But I was interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entryway was a heavy contrast of the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. Are you Maebara-san? Keiichi Maebara-san? There was no question that he was a resident of Hinamizawa. That he wasn't. And that this was, without a doubt, was the first time we had met me. Ever since I met Tomitake-san, I had been running into so many middle-aged men. That's right. Who might you be? I have an AC in my car. Let's go talk there. It's a bit hot here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car parked in the rear gate. I began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some geezer I didn't even know, and he was asking me to get into his car with him? I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what he was talking about. Even while knowing the conversations that could start out like this had never led to anything good. On the inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditions were supposedly to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a bit of a habit of cranking it up all the way. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark the same way he did and start out my own line of questioning. He pulled out his notepad from his pocket and took out a picture, stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize him from this expressionless picture that looked like he was taken to the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker, starting with yours, Maebara-san. and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? This is Tomitake-san! There was no hint of an unusual, unreliable, easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then, do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomitake-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I know that she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? Last night, the night of Watanagashi, we spoke. They seemed pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail about is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus I replied in silence and kind. I was pretty sure, no, certain, this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking me about Tomitake-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, Maebara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all. If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomitake-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happen the day after Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitake-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Well, do you know of that, curse, Maebara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe it, as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts, and that was the more prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. I guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. My mind went blank. What happened to Tomitake-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Maebara-san? Implications? Not any for the cause of his death, for the reason behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of Watanagashi, meaning this year the curse of Oyashiro-sama had once again. The death of Jiro Tomitake is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn something I shouldn't. Or at least, that's how I figured it would feel if I listened to the rest. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from the security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, where the road of the town becomes paved, right? down past the slope on the shoulder around there. There were a few street lights on the road. The pitch black darkness was only broken by the light of the passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but then the officer checked to see if he was still alive and quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails! As if fingernails? Which those he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it had revealed that it was with his own nails. What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder. It was a suicide. Tomitake-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat. As hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through the skin until it started to bleed. And even Tomitake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing. Even with its intensity, he couldn't have peeled off his nails until clawing, still clawing. And then, as his nails reached the vital arteries, oh boy. That should never damage. He continued clawing, splurt. Blood splattered all over the ground around him, and he bled while grasping for breath. He collapsed as his body spasmed, and he died in agony. We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this was a suicide? I've never heard of such a thing. It's a natural way of dying. If this was a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died in the first 5 years, his death was resembled that of a curse, as if to show myself and Tomitake-san, who proclaimed that there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details from his body, chemistry, perspiration, affiliation, and so on. We concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before he died. That was a given. It was hard to believe that someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. Wounds on his hand matched the discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There were traces of where he struck trees and guardrails within. Tomitake-san's blood was found all over the place, meaning while he was tearing out his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries which, not self-inflicted, discovered at Tomitake-san. There was a high probability if Tomitake-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there were multiple suspects. To summarize, Tomitake-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m., meaning it had occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitake-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitake-san's shirts, then parted ways. Right after that, oh yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work, and she hasn't returned home either. There is a very high possibility that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I only gazed off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody else close to me would have affected me this deeply. This time I had spent with Tomitake-san was short, But we went to the same festival and spent time together and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We had been continuing the investigations on various fronts. But when it comes down to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. I knew that well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitaka-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? I should have been angry that the reason he wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, and the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitake died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed far off into the distance. That night of Watanagashi, during the sacred ritual, he callously snapped photos, angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it was going to turn out. There's no way that Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitake-san. Tomitake-san to have been killed by humans and a cowardly group, no less. There was no way I was going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There is no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with a man's hearty laugh. That's how it must be, Maebara-san. Cooperation from individuals from Hinamizawa who would believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tomitake-san or I believed in curses. But with the way things were going, it would end up with Tomitake-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitake-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitake-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, and he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitake-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there is nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what had happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear... Was he talking in the future tense? Things are people or rumors. Anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here's my number. If not there, then just leave a message whenever whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mirrored knee-deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitake-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? If I needed to find the murder, I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper and a satisfied grin spread up across my face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well. Especially that Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I guess. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, and he didn't seem to be especially offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may upset you. Say it! He hesitated just a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, began speaking after turning for a bit. there is a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were involved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you lead up to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that day of Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? First, it was the dam construction foreman. Then it was the villager that supported it. Then the village hold a grudge against die one after another for mysterious causes. That means the means are different. In the end, the results are the same. Unfounded and unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't be just shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and the wife's death? Weren't they enemies? They weren't enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive. So there wasn't a faction of villagers who harbored ill towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about the housewife after that? Did she just die because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's just a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomitake-san? He's not affiliated with the damn project at all. Was he just killed because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it felt like those related to the damn project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims became much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just the enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. Then the next year's victim, they're just going to be picked out of the village outsider pool. It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by that? I swallow my words. In Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered by the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I could still really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victims, my family. Was he saying that I was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family lead the dam protests quite fervently too. This is also true of Mion Sonozaki herself. She has quite the few misdemeanors and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of protests. I knew Mion well enough to fight. This was the first I'd heard of the family leading the protest, though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with a string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, they would have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a clear explanation. I felt that he had magnificently avoided the details I'd wanted to know. We don't know how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave off a bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's the curse. Know about them. What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? Because the reason behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth was about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. None of the villagers would have had anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse just to worry needlessly. Just like everyone else kept it from me, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's now my turn to keep it from them, so I didn't have to worry. I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and these incidents at this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, and insipid as it was, I couldn't be helped. I understand, I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oishi, from the Okinomiya police station? You can call me Kuro-san if you want. No, Oishi's fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained the hints of politeness. He was the splitting image of the vulgar police officer, though I've never seen this one bulky before in a cop show's watch. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably get back to them. The door opened with a click, and there streamed of the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot all day? Was it really this hot of a day? It was almost cruel heat of an opposed mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself was suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad, that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling them that it was too late to say something that's self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Maebara-san. There is enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything else. But I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much of me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up till now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Maebara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time has passed. I think this is where I want to stop. Absolutely crazy. Okay, this is where we're going to leave off episode number 10 of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, Onikakushi. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Dordias, signing out. Peace.